Welcome, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Terry Edwin.
Hi.
Ariandis.
Hey, everybody.
Maven.
Hey, y'all.
And Sanswinda.
Hello.
And this week we'll be taking a look at Bullroar, where we had no wipes this week, so you were able to use the same characters that you used last week, and we had a second round of testing, which can be summarized in 2 bullet points. And the first of these are High Elves, and the second one is Black Book. So we'll begin with the High Elf. And did anyone try out one of those things?
I did. Well,
apparently the dog did.
He wishes that I had not, I think is what he's saying.
Pineleaf, you did. You started one, right?
Yeah, I
the
started
starter
one.
instance?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did not do that. I didn't do the starter. I just went straight to 115.
How did you bypass the starter?
If you turned around
if you turned around from the original quest giver, there's a Isengard intro person standing up against a rock.
Ah.
And I got into the Isengard tavern, and then I got out, finally. And then I couldn't get back in.
Along with a whole bunch of other people, so that was interesting.
We were all bouncing off the door. It was kind of funny.
High Elf is really interesting. The racial traits actually gives a res. You can res an ally.
Yeah, of course, the one that I actually did any leveling with was a captain. So, of course, a res on a captain isn't all that great use. But I guess it could be useful for if a champion or
I did a hunter,
horde,
and that was
example,
like, that's
or
awesome.
a hunter.
Yeah. And
So
also, there's some other like buffs and trying to find it here. So there's some damage buffs, and then there's help with light type damage, which is good for Mordor because that's
and the res is an auto grant for level 25.
Oh, it is. Oh, interesting.
Yes, auto grant for level 25.
That's really cool.
The speed buff, the 10% speed buff, is for Enmity of the Orcs.
Okay. And then there's the Glory of the First Age, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't figured out the levels in which most of the others are done. There is one that you get at level 19. There's one at 25, which is the res. There's one for the first round of orcs. I didn't get far enough in order to determine any other information on the matter. I guess I'll find out.
Yeah, and they come from the places that they come from are the places from the Second Age that you would know from the Silmarillion, Beleriand, Gondolin, Nargothrond, Lindon.
Right.
Syrian, I guess it is. So that's kind of interesting. And where's the starter area?
Oh, the starter area? Oh, the starter area is at the Last Alliance.
Yeah.
At the Black Gate.
With the beardless Celeborn. I mean, Celeborn's always been beardless. Círdan.
Yeah. Poor Círdan. They shaved him.
All these names.
I'm always thinking that after the Last Alliance, Círdan must have said, well, after that, I'm going to grow a beard after they defeated Sauron. That's the only thing I can think of because he has no beard.
Well, here I was thinking maybe he got captured and they shaved his beard and then realized he wasn't a tall dwarf and let him go.
I think Standing Stone Games may have some splaining to do to the Lorehounds, some players on that.
Yes, hopefully there will be some explanation on that, because right now I don't know what kind of explanation Tolkien gave regarding the beard on Círdan.
I don't think he ever did, actually.
So
I'll have to check the letters sometime. I don't think he ever really.
Yeah, so if he's been growing it for only 2,000 years, then
He gets it trimmed from. I mean, I'm sure Gandalf gets it. They probably go to the same person.
I'm back again.
Yep. Oh, it's only been 100 years. Not very
Yes,
much
it's only been 100 years. Unfortunately, apparently, just before the last alliance, the barber got over aggressive.
Yeah, it was oops. Oops. What do you mean, oops?
Cut it all off to make it even.
Or it could be one of those things like he lost a bet, like if we
No,
get
there you
through
go.
this, you're growing a beard. Okay, fine.
Or he was doing a fundraiser. He was doing
Fundraiser.
the refugees of Holland or something,
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right. He was required to grow a beard, not to grow a beard all throughout the Third Age. So therefore, until Galadriel and
There you go.
Frodo left and Elrond and Gandalf left, once that ship sailed away and it became the Fourth Age, he says, now I can shave again.
Now shave the beard. Right. We're just we got a whole new lore thing going on.
Poor Círdan's beard.
Beard. That would be that's a good name for a band in LOTRO.
Oh gosh, someone needs to get on that.
Anyway, I haven't gotten very far with it. I just really created it so far. But stay tuned to Girls of Middle-earth tomorrow because there's a good chance we'll be running around both IL. So, we'll have more to report next week.
I have a question about the... Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pineleaf.
I was about to ask, do we know how long the Bulwer is going to be up this weekend? Since I don't know if it's going to be a long weekend for Standing Stone or if it's going to be a regular weekend for them.
Oh, I wonder because we have the 4th on Tuesday, don't we?
Right.
We're going to leave it open.
Because if they leave it open on Monday and Tuesday, then...
That'd be awesome.
It'd be awesome.
It would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And if not this week, it would be awesome next week,
Anybody
too.
listening? Any of the devs listening? Well, actually, this is not going to come out until Monday anyway, so.
Yeah.
Well, it hits YouTube fairly early.
Yeah.
Depending on my computer's processing speed.
All right. Now, Maven, did you have a question?
No, it was Arendis had a question.
Oh, Renda's had a question.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just wondering, I've been a little out of the loop with Bullroarer and stuff like that, but what classes are available for the High Elf?
Everything but burglars.
And Bjorning, of course.
And Bjorn,
And, well,
anything that doesn't start with a B. Yes.
Okay, because last I heard it was just captains, so I've been really out of the loop.
they're all the other regular
Everything.
classes that elves can be. Also.
Awesome.
The thing that was a standout about captains is that regular elves, quote unquote, can't be captains.
Oh, okay.
So that was why the captains today.
Gotcha.
Yeah, captain has previously been limited to men only.
Though I think we need stealthy elves. Even if they're not burglars, we need a stealthy elf class.
I completely agree.
They could be treasure hunters or something, or lore seekers or something.
Yeah, or just stealthy elves. I don't care what you call them. As long as they've got a decent stealth option. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, get on that, Standing Stone Games.
And we know from the lore that they can pass even quieter than a hobbit when they want to.
That's right. And actually, Sylvan Shadows doesn't really accomplish that.
No, it doesn't, because it's got a 30-minute cooldown and you move, slower than a snail.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Like a snail that got stuck on something. I don't know.
Snow
It's
walking
pathetic.
on a Roach Motel, yes.
You move like a burglar in Yellow Line is how you move.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It's that bad?
It would be.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they improved that for both elf races.
Oh.
Actually, it would be a good thing.
Yeah, let us just say that usually most burglars in the O-line, when they finally finish up their tree, the first thing they do is start saying, okay, what's the first thing you're going to invest in? Increased movement speed.
Yeah, really. Really.
All right. Any other comments on Bulwer before we head to the beacon?
Oh, what about? Does anybody try? Apparently, did you try the Black Book yet?
Oh, I've gotten through about all right, there are 2 chapters that are up, and a chapter of the Black Book, based on what I've gone through so far, seems to be about equivalent to a book in the regular epic, because I've gone through
Wow. Really?
several quests already, and I think I'm only halfway through chapter 1.
Where do you pick up the first chapter?
You talk, all right, after you have thrown down the Black Gates,
Right.
you talk to Mithrandir, who's standing right in front of the Black Gates.
Got it. Okay. Got it. All right. Good. So how is it so far? I mean, is there anything like standing out about it, or is it, usual high LOTRO quality storytelling?
It's right now, as I said, we're just in the early parts of it, but right now it seems like you are being asked to protect 4 people who decided that, oh, Sauron has fallen. It's a good time to go into Mordor.
Probably developers.
Sure.
They're real estate developers.
Yeah, no, actually, they all have their own reasons for it. Because one of them, I can't remember all the reasons, but one of them is someone who was at the Battle of the Last Alliance. In fact, I think I'm not 100% sure because I wasn't looking for it at the time, but I think that she may have been the one that was always talking to you when you were as a high elf. So therefore, I suspect if you're a high elf, she'll say, "You remember me, right? I'm the one that sat next. I'm the one that sat at your on your bedside for the last 2,000 years."
Yeah, right.
Some sort of awkward family reunion.
Yeah, you got the idea. So therefore, that's good. That's what we have there. So we have one there. One is someone who wants to gather relics for study. That's always going to go well. You've got one who's a descendant of the sole survivor from Stronghold, one of the strongholds that was put up to watch the Black Land before Sauron regained power. And then another one, I think, who's just looking for treasure to get rich.
Okay.
So they each have their own motives of why they want to go into Mordor. And of course, you're going in there doing quests for them. And I suspect that they are starting to have the little thing that I think this is going to stir into what I think chapter 1 is going to be about seeing each of their 4 points of view, and each of them is going to be pointing a big arrow towards the main plot of the.
Oh, and that's probably
do
you think that's where the allegiance thing is going to come in that Cordovan explained to us?
The allegiance?
Where you end up, at some point along the line, you end up, you pledging allegiance to a particular faction. There's 4 of them.
Oh, if there are 4, except for the fact that I thought they were.
They're by races,
based on
aren't
races.
they? Yeah,
and
that's right. Oh.
In this case, I think it was 2 men, a woman, and an elf maid. So therefore, that
doesn't work.
There wasn't
if it's 2 different types of elves.
Yeah, a high elf and a regular elf. Oh yeah. Anyway, we'll have to see. What I don't think it's related to that because I think the Black Book is, I'd say, almost a main storyline, and I don't think it's going to tie into the rep system any because I think the allegiance thing is a counterpart to the. I think of the Black Book as the Mordor equivalent of the epic, and I think of the allegiance system as the Mordor equivalent of the rep. Now, I haven't seen anything on the allegiance yet, so I can't be sure on that.
Right. Interesting.
All right. Anything else someone has to like? If you know what the Allegiance system really is and can tell us.
I gather that's not actually up yet.
Oh,
Or
okay. It's possible it
somewhere-
might not be up.
Yeah, I mean, he told us about it, but I haven't seen a sign of it unless.
Well, it might be a 115 thing.
Well, I met 115, and I'm at the place, and there's nobody talking
okay.
about Allegiance, but it may be late, like in a later region or something. I don't know. Maybe or they just don't have it in place yet.
Well, I'll assume
Still work to be done.
Yeah, I assume it's where the main group of 115 mobs are located, but I don't know.
That might
I
be.
haven't gone very.
Yeah, maybe it's an end game thing. It could be.
Yeah. My guess is that's going to be an end game thing.
Yeah.
Since
Okay, that
the
makes sense.
furthest I've gone into Mordor is just where you start to see Mount Doom. I haven't gotten anywhere near that. I'm only 107 right now. All right, let's then head into the Beacon, where this week LOTRO Players News had a video from last weekend's debut preview of Mordor.
Huh?
Oh, okay, that must have been Anding's videos. Okay, so
No, the title of last week's show was "It's Mordory."
oh no.
No.
That's a different link he provided.
This one
No.
actually
This
links to.
this was
Anding's videos.
Anding. Yeah, the first one was the link to Anding's videos.
Fine.
All right. And they add a note that the Weatherstock concert series begins on July 8th and 9th.
Yeah, interesting note about Weatherstock, by the way. Previous years, they've done the concert series and then narrowed it down to like the top 10 in a Battle of the Bands style format. This year, they're actually going to have all of the bands that are in the concert series perform at Weatherstock.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
that's neat.
And there's 22 of them.
That is
Wow.
Well, they've done the format of the battle of the concert series different on, I think, almost every single year they've done it differently. I think in one of the earlier years you had to be in Weatherstock in order to be part of the concert series. Then they allowed people not playing at Weatherstock to be in the concert series. But there's 22 bands at Weatherstock?
22 bands at Weatherstock.
That's going to take all day. It already
Are they gonna
took
cut-
half today.
Are they going to
Yeah.
cut down on the number of songs? Maybe?
I don't know, because what's the guideline been for previous years? It's like a half hour or something
Yeah,
like
about
that?
half an hour.
Yeah, so maybe.
I mean, cutting it down even lower than that would be tough. And
I'm just going by what I saw in the Twitters.
This looks like it's going to be July 8th and 9th, so.
Well, that's the concert series. Concert series tends to play in advance of
Of the actual
because
thing?
it's generating the hype for Weatherstock.
Okay.
yeah, generating the hype. And it also allows the bands to have a
Practice session?
fuller performance. Because for example, when I was covering Weatherstock a few years back, I also covered a few of the concert series concerts, and they tended to be about at least an hour long for the concert series one, so they could have
Yeah.
a full program. It allowed A, generate hype, and B, allow the bands to get known by the people there too.
Yeah, so that if you
band also.
don't want to stay for all of Weatherstock, which can be pretty lengthy, you can kind of figure out which bands you want to see and then look at the schedule and see what
when
time
they're
you
playing.
should show up.
All right. And the concert series is at the Festival Ground stage in Breedland, and that's another difference from the time when I was covering. When I had covered it, the each band selected its own locale during the concert series. And this year it looks like that it's almost a full music festival in its own right.
It really kind of is.
I mean, the thing looks like something similar to the festival they had in, well, Winterstock, for example, which I think was a 2-day thing where you had all the bands going on there, or the Crick Hollow event that they had, the Shire Fest.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like more like that because it's at a single place and going in there, except of course they're doing longer. So therefore, and that is July 8th and 9th, starting at 12:30 on the 8th. It's 12:30 U.S. Eastern Time and running till 5:30. Now let's get back to the Beacon. On our fan site news, let's see, I'm trying to see if there's any highlights in here I could see. A lot of it is about book coverage of the Bull War, coverage of the beta, and all that stuff, because a lot of people are doing coverage of it, and a lot of fan sites got notes talking about them. Now, Spy celebrating a decade of LOTRO, so there were a couple of people who were celebrating decades in there.
Yeah, rub it in.
Right. And also, Let's Talk Shop, and there was the Summer Festival has arrived. There's a note on that. And, of course, the announcement that Ted Naismith is providing key art for Update 21.
Which is awesome.
And the screenshot of the week looks like archery fireworks.
It's the dragon firework.
Oh, that's right, the dragon. Okay.
It does look like archery if you look at it like that.
Yeah, it depends I guess it depends what angle you look at. You're right, that is the dragon fireworks.
Take it from somebody who doesn't have one. We know what they look like.
They're so much fun to watch.
I don't have one either, so it doesn't matter. It'll be another year before I get that. And now for our weekly comment. What is your favorite buff?
What is my favorite?
Is Leafy Feet considered a buff if you're not a hunter? Like if you're in a group with a hunter?
It's considered a buff.
Oh yeah, that's very definitely a buff.
I'll take Leafy Feet then.
Even if I am a hunter, I think Leafy Feet might be my favorite.
Yeah, I think I may have to go with that.
Well, the only reason why I won't say Leafy Feet is because I'm a warden. So the word's equivalent then. Yeah. Forced March is my answer then.
So it's the warden's Leafy Feet.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite buff is the one that you get as a champion once you have the capstone skill Weapons Master, which is the Weapons Master buff.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, what does it do?
Well, as a dual wielding Redline champion, it gives me a +3% chance to parry and +6 to damage.
Nice.
It's different if you're wielding a two-handed weapon. It's -5% attack duration and +15% crit damage.
Cool.
But I really like seeing that little red box. It's the one that I can always count on being on my champion. Except when I have a baby champion.
Yeah.
And what level do champions get that?
I don't know. It's the capstone, so it's pretty far down in the tree. You
Fair
need,
enough.
let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You need 31 trait points.
So you've got
By
to
the way,
be grown up.
Speaking of buffs, I'm pretty partial to the Hope token.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Oh, yeah. That is one that comes in quite handy, especially when you're going into some really dreadful areas.
But
I mean, without it, in some of
Maven?
at least lose blood. Oh,
Maven, we lost you.
how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
There you go.
I was going to say, some places, especially like up in Angmar, you literally die from the dread, can't you? Pretty darn close to, or at least get immobilized.
I don't know if it's possible to get literally killed by it anymore. I think it used to be sometimes,
okay.
but I don't think it's possible. Now, you'll lose about 60% of your morale, and
which makes it really easy for everything else on the landscape to kill you.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. So indirectly, yeah.
Because I know, like, the eye shows up and your screen kind of goes sepia-toned.
Yeah.
Right? If it gets too bad. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I get so distracted by that I just get killed easily.
Yeah, understood. All right, let's head into our sales this week. And what's for sale this week, Terry?
Let's see. This week's free sample, drafted and backwards. This week's free sample is the enhanced XP supply with the coupon code MOREXP, MORXP, and 20% off quest packs. So expansion packs, quest packs, also 100% XP boost, Mithril coins, and max morale and power scrolls.
All right, that sounds like a nice combination to have.
Yeah, so now's your time to get all the expansions that you don't have coming up to Mordor.
And Mithril.
And Mithril. So that you can Mithril your way around Mordor.
And other places if
Yeah.
you've been spending lots of Mithril on anniversary
Which
questing. Or
I
other
will not be
things.
doing because I am doing Mordor with the quest guide turned off.
Well, in Mordor,
Plus, it's 5 Mithril to Mithril your way around new areas, and that's a pain.
Yeah.
It really is.
Though I have not seen a single stable master in Mordor yet.
That's what war seeds are for.
I haven't seen them either. They're a milestone.
I've seen a milestone so far. So we'll see what happens with that.
I saw 3 or 4.
Let's head into our site news, and which is today brought to us by some soggy hobbits at the summer festival.
Yes, which I put that note in because that's got to be my favorite summer festival quest, is relieving hobbits that have gotten overheated. You cool them off by making them a little bit soggy. And it's hilarious.
I was wondering what those overheated hobbits were all about.
Yep, so you take a quest and she hands you a pitcher of water that you're supposed to take around to cool off the overheated hobbits, and for whatever reason your character interprets this as a take a drink and spit on them.
Oh my gosh.
You create a cooling fountain. It is hilarious.
And they're okay with this. Well, some of them maybe. No, I don't know.
Nobody's complained.
Except the lady when you turn your quest back in. She says, wait, what? That's not what I meant.
That's true. The quest text when you turn it back in, the quest giver, you can tell she just wants to just facepalm. She's like, you did what? Okay. That wasn't really what I meant, but okay.
Hey, whatever works, right? Whatever works.
It's also extremely funny to do it from stealth, just in case anybody's
Oh my
wondering.
gosh.
Yeah.
All right, let's begin with the community events for June 30th through July 6th, and I think we covered the stuff that's upcoming.
Pretty thoroughly. Don't know what's going on this weekend because I spent most of today offline. We had a power outage.
That would
Somebody
make
up
it
the
hard to
street
be
took
online.
somebody up the street took a pole out with a transformer, so we were like without power for about an hour and a half. And then prior to that, we had thunderstorms that were making the power go in and out. So
Here is
I think it's because of Terry. The bull
You cut out again.
was out. Terry's power was out. Bull roar. I think we've finally gotten to the.
oh yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right. Now, here's one interesting one. That is on tomorrow, Sunday, at 2 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, which is 8 p.m. Central European Standard Time on Balaguer. They're having a kite festival.
Oh, nice.
And in case you were hearing this on Monday, that was yesterday.
Yes. And they give the location as Kreidestrasse in Lindenthal. Unfortunately, since I'm using the English client, I have no idea which street that is. Since the notice is in German, since that's the German server. And let's see. That is, and also on July 8th, the Knights of the White Lady have their Decadence, which is a kinship with the fabulous 10-year anniversary party. So therefore, we got Weatherstock 10 concert series and Decadence.
Busy weekend.
That is going to be a busy week. Now, that Decadence, though, is at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, so it will be after the concert series ends, since that ends at 5:30. What I don't see is which server that's on.
It's on Landrival.
Oh, that's also on Landrival.
Yeah, Knights of the White Ladies on Landrival.
Okay, that's the way it is on that. All right, very well. That is then yeah, you're right. There it is, Breetown Southgate, Blancheville. So it's pretty close. So that's in Breeland. You got the concert series up at the festival grounds. So you got half an hour to get from one to the other.
So if you're not planning on going to either of those events, stay out of Bree next weekend.
Whatever you do.
Or expect lots of lag.
Or expect lots of lag, yeah. Well, it's laggy anyway. It's going to be laggier than usual.
But holding the Weatherstock concert series at the festival grounds during a festival?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like the best planning.
So there's not a lot going on at the Brie Festival grounds right now.
All right, so it's Alden Hobbiton then?
Almost. There's a fireworks quest and the races.
But...
and the dancing.
And there's a scavenger hunt, too.
Is there one in Brie?
Is there one in Brie?
I didn't think there was one.
Maybe?
There's one that you have to go into town and do.
Oh.
Spring, or I don't remember.
All right, that one I don't remember. All right. And now we have a couple of videos that were posted by Arid, who talked about walking into Mordor.
Yes, he walked into Mordor and found a pine leaf in the wild.
Ooh.
Oh. Pineleaf, what were you doing in the wild?
Fighting insects, I believe.
Okay. That's a good thing to do in the wild.
Pineleaf was doing what Pineleaf always does in the wild, being a warden.
And he also looked at some new creatures and some other new things that you can find over on the new servers in the new area. So, and of course, remember, anything you see there is
Subject to change.
On top of this, we also have a number of Mordor videos posted by Andang, where he does his usual ending video for every single zone in a new area. So therefore, he has a look at each of the new regions, including one infested by spiders. I'm sure Sans will love that one. That's, of course, at Kirith Ungol.
Right. Duly noted.
Yeah. Well, you would expect spiders to be at Kirith Ungol anyway, right?
Yes, it's on my list of places to avoid.
And, of course, he takes a nice look at Mount Doom. And I think he does a little visit to Barad-dûr also at some point, which I'm sure is a real fun place to visit. And we also have an update for the family line 141, so it's getting closer to 150. Passing Authority. And as usual, we won't be discussing this because spoilers and all that fun stuff.
I apologize. I didn't even really look at it this week because, again, power outage.
Oh, power outage? How cruel.
No, why can't you use the internet and your computer and everything else without any power, Terry? Come on.
Do you know this mystified at least half the people in my household, too?
I mean, it should work on magic, right? You don't need power for that. It'd be kind of nice if it did sometimes.
Well, I could probably get a half hour by using my phone, but after that...
And then you can't recharge it until the power comes back on.
Yeah, I can't recharge the phone after that, right.
Well, and then the data usage charges go up if you use it too much and, all that stuff.
Well, little detail on that matter. So therefore, let's look at Squirrel's articles on what's behind Mordor 3 and what's behind Mordor 4. So first one, Mordor 3 is Sorry We're Not Home, where he has a little... where I think he was the gates being closed, of course, because the first one was posted right after the start of the week. And of course, when the weekend's over, the gates of Mordor shut down because testing.
Yeah.
And getting ready for the next week's build, fixing all the bugs from all the wonderful bug reports that I'm sure we're all providing them. Right?
Uh-huh.
Though I think I only posted 2 of them this week, but... And then the question of what's behind Mordor number 4 is The Flamingo, a high elf short review. And here he's talking about what he thinks about the high elf. And he says the first thing is, I don't want to carry pies. I'm a high elf. Well, I suppose that is it. So therefore, instead of killing level 1 boars, you fight at the Last Alliance. Now, I should note concerning the instance for the starter instance for the High Elves, I do not recommend it for a new player. Because if you don't understand how the game operates, you may say, well, how do I do that? Because all the rest of the intros are designed a lot to teach you the game. They don't do that in the High Elf instance. They assume you already know how to play the game. So therefore, if you plan to play a High Elf captain for your first character in ever playing LOTRO, then my suggestion is to reconsider that idea. Or at least have some idea how the game operates before you try playing the High Elf, because they throw things at you, assuming you know it. And so therefore, that's why you're not carrying pies. Instead, you are fighting at the doorstep of Mordor instead. And let's see. There are some new racials in there that are really nice in there, like the Revive, which we talked about earlier. Though I don't know how complete the models and stuff like that are.
Well, hopefully they're not complete yet, because the elves have like 8 hairstyles, and that's just wrong.
Yeah, that is a little bit.
Besides which, I can see right through my elf's waist. Her shirt doesn't connect to her pants.
Oh, well.
Every time she moves, you can see the sky through them.
Oh, that's terrible.
A problem. I haven't noticed that, but then as soon as I entered the instance, the first thing I did was to put on something cosmetic, so I didn't want to look like I was going around in my underwear.
I noticed, though, that the new armor this time is dyed, and it dyes your underwear.
Yeah,
so you can be running around in different colored underwear now, even though it's still your underwear.
Yeah, the placeholder gear basically looks like your underwear because they didn't do a placeholder appearance for it.
But now it's dyed, so it dyes your underwear.
So you wind up in the Isengard Tavern with everybody standing around their underwear.
In different colors.
And you're going, why is everybody wearing different colored underwear? And then you get your new gear, and it's like, oh, that's
now I'm
why.
wearing different colored underwear. Great. Yeah. Hooray for cosmetic outfits.
Hooray for cosmetic outfits, yes. So therefore, Skrull wound up giving a B to the. But I noticed that he says that if it doesn't come with Mordor or free for VIPs, then he's lowering the score 1 or 2 steps.
It's not going to be free for VIPs. It is possible that they'll include it in the Mordor sale price, though.
I'm guessing
similar to how they included Wardens and Runekeepers with Moria.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be part of Mordor, because I think that's to me, it's part of the package. Yeah, just in the same way that Runekeepers and Wardens came with Moria, and it also fits the fact that your starter instance is at the gates of Mordor. So let's head into Poems of the Pine, where we are at the Black Gates. What a coincidence. At the edge of the waste, our wandering mind drifted to Frodo and the fateful ring. Our march was small next to Mordor's horde, but perhaps the hobbits would be helped by our show. We marched to the gate and gathered our strength that demanded that Sauron surrender at once. In response, the mouth of Mordor revealed tokens of our friends, Frodo and Sam. Having seen the signs that Sam and Frodo were taken and lost in the land of our foe, we chose to fight as the fell gate loosed a host of orcs with hateful bent. We defended the hills as our foes advanced to crush the cause of the West. No aid will come to rekindle our hope unless our friends could fly.
So this is the last installment of Poems of the Pine until Mordor comes out, right?
Right. The next installment will be when we do the quest pack review for Mordor. So therefore, I think that will be a couple of months at least away then. So let's head into the Brax Memorial Pick of the Week. Fibro Jedi Summer Festival Guide.
Mirandus, you want to take this one? Since it was technically your suggestion.
So, Fiber Jedi, who does content for LOTRO as well as Star Wars, SWTOR, he did a guide for the Summer Festival, and he covers a lot of information. I mean, it's, as a new player who has never done the Summer Festival, I mean, he totally answered all of my questions and just gave a lot of really, really good information. So I would highly, highly recommend checking it out.
Including the bit about the soggy hobbits, right?
I believe so.
Soggy hobbits.
Well,
Yeah, he's
as
got
many
stuff
people
about-
cooling them off as they've got out there. They're soggy.
Yeah.
I have no doubt.
All right, now it looks like that's Celebrating Sunshine, though they did not change the list in there. It looks like it has the same,
It's still the old list.
still the old list, so the new quests aren't included in there. Now, one of the things about it is when he shows the cosmetics that you get for it, is that the tunic that you get looks like a set of pajamas.
It really does, though.
Yes.
And also, he did say that as he does more, he's going to keep updating it. So if there's something not on here, it'll probably be up there soon.
All right. Has anyone gotten any of the items of the rewards yet, or are you still working for them?
Watch this space.
Okay. Watch this space. All right. I think that means that we'll be coming to that later. So let's head to the new player question. And Ariandis, what's on this week?
This week, my question is about essences. Now, I know that that's an in-game thing. Like, I've heard people talk about the essence system, or maybe not so much in-game, but closer to, level 100 and so forth. But I've gotten several of them just in landscape in Moria, and I was wondering, is there slotted armor in Moria, or am I just getting it through random luck of the draw drops? What is going on?
It's random, and you occasionally get slotted armor in Moria, but and don't bet on getting it.
Yeah, it's pretty rare. At that level, it's mostly useful for cosmetic purposes. I have a level 50 set of the heavy shoulders somewhere in my vault or storage, or I don't remember where exactly, but I know I've got like because it's a not bound at all set that I can share cosmetically. I know I've got at least one character below level 100 who's wearing a piece of essence gear. Pretty sure Sarissa got a couple of pieces. And since she's leveling slowly due to wearing the Tortoise Stone, it's more useful for her than it is. Like, if you're leveling fairly quickly, having a set of gear that you have to put pieces into and you have to wait to collect the pieces isn't really worth hanging on to, because by the time you've actually gathered enough stuff to make it useful, you've out-leveled it.
Mm-hmm.
But essences were basically introduced as a way to be able to customize your gear.
Okay.
So there's different essences for various stats, and the pieces of gear will have a number of slots available that you can put those pieces into.
Mm-hmm.
And the numbers anywhere from 1 to 4 or 5, I think, at the high end.
Okay.
I got a level 50 pair of boots, and I don't remember where or when they dropped. Maybe in the Rift? I don't know. I was somewhere I didn't expect them. And I got an alt to level 50, stuck them on her with some essences that had dropped on other alts, and by level 51 she was getting better gear, so...
Yeah.
Okay. So should I just keep the essences that I have until I reach level 100, or will they be useless by then?
They'll be useless by then.
Yeah, tier 1
Okay.
essences are useless.
Okay.
Just sell them.
Feel free to vendor them.
Okay.
Don't feel guilty.
Okay. I was like, I don't know if this is important. I don't want to like sell it, and then they tell me that it's really important. I'm like, no.
No,
So-
it's not important
Okay.
in any way whatsoever.
For a while I was
Okay,
hanging
gotcha.
onto all the major essences that dropped until I realized the little number in the corner was important. Yeah, you don't need anything
Okay.
lower than
Yeah.
an 8, probably.
Okay.
Right, and
And that might be changing.
they begin in essences begin in Moria, but right, they're rarely useful until you get into Gondor.
Okay.
So, and I'm someone who hasn't even used them all that much in Gondor, so. But I think there are maybe one or two here who do play with essences some.
I have one character who's got a full set of essence gear, and that would be my main Terry. She's got she has most of the Dalamoth set still, although she's actually collected most of the featured armor set, so she'll be switching that over before we get to Mordor, probably.
My man is
Now
in essence gear. But
Now
I
let's
only
head
have
into
one.
our
Sorry.
Now let's head into our week in Lotro, and Sans Window, what were you up to?
Well, I might be kind of cheating, but last
Uh-oh.
Saturday, I got a war steed at level 5 and rode it off the prow of Minas Tirith. And I am so proud of
You were going to
myself.
tell us-
It was so much fun. I was a little level 5 Hobbit Hunter, and I was wearing the wrong color shirt. I don't know why the shirt's the wrong color. And it popped me out of my, I took the quest. Yeah, it was Bull Roarer. I took the quest, and it dropped me in Kellendam with a war steed. So, I used the war steed, used some mithril to get to Minas Tirith, and rode my war steed right off the prow. And, maybe also rode in circles around Terry saying, look, I'm level 5 on a war steed, look. I was having a lot of fun. And
apparently so.
I didn't get a deed or anything. I think I was too low level. But, I've decided that war steeds at level 5 are more useful than epic battles at level 10. This is what I have decided. I now want a war steed on all my level 5 alts. If only for fast transportation.
I have a feeling, though, you're not going to be able to get that.
No, probably not. But it does sound more useful. I also rode around as a gift on a goat, doing Ale Association quests with Terry and Maven this week, and that was a lot of fun. I don't think you could even see my face. It's just
Nope.
a cake hat on top of a present.
Yep.
And riding a goat. So, that was fun. And, then I ran the Throne of Dread Terror with Ploy, and actually made it through the whole thing. So, it was really
Nice.
cool. And I got a very egg property guard. So, I need to go try that.
The card.
Yeah, it dropped. So,
Oh, it tells you how much I know about that instance. If I did, that there was one.
well, I didn't know either until it showed up in my inventory. After we opened one of the chests. But no, it was a lot of fun. Got stomped by some Mumaks, and then died a lot by a summoned ghost thing and a bunch of glooms. But after that, it went pretty smoothly. And, also had an epic time and an epic battle at level 17. But not as epic as getting a war steed at level 5. That was truly epic. Erndis, how was your week?
Well, my week was not as fun as yours, but it was still pretty good. I mostly just worked on leveling my main. I got her up to level 53 and reached the 21st hall, which is amazing. First time you see it, it's great. Before I got there, though, I did Volume 1, Book 7, Chapter 8 for the first time, where, you go with... I just blanked on Lorniel to go get Guladir back and all the craziness that happens with that.
Oh.
But yeah, so that was fun. But I don't know if this was just me, but I was cracking up the whole time I was fighting the boss in that instance, because it honestly sounds like he's trying so hard to be scary and intimidating, and he sounds like my cat when he's purring. And so I'm over here just like, I feel like I'm hitting my cat right now. What is going on?
It's true. He does. He sounds like a cat.
Doesn't he though?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was laughing the whole time. I'm like, I know you're trying so hard to be scary, and there's, fear and dread and dramatic things, and I'm just picturing my cat in my head right now. So that was fun. And I did the Fall of Moria session play, and holy smokes, guys, a Balrog. It was fun. It was mostly just me freaking out because the door didn't open for a while there. I don't know if that's supposed to happen. And I was like, wait, did I break the instance? So I'm running around the Balrog, like freaking out, hoping that he doesn't target me at all. Because, I've never done it before. I thought I was going to get squished. And then finally the door opens or whatever, and you run out and there's some dialogue. And this Sylvan elf was cracking me up because he's got both swords drawn, and they're talking and they're doing some dialogue, and then people start blaming each other, and he crosses his arms while still holding his swords in his hands, fully drawn, and he just manages to look just so incredibly snooty while he does it. He's like, well, such and such a thing, and he's holding these two things drawn. It's a wonder he didn't stab himself in the face. I don't know. I was cracking up the whole time. So anyway, that was my week. Maven, what did you do this week?
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I ended up. Oh, am I on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Because we had a little parrot action going on a little while ago, and I muted it out. So probably one of the biggest highlights of my week is I led a conga line of orc sappers around Helmstead. So on the LOTRO Academy field trip, I think we've talked about this before. We'd started new characters. And so we all got ourselves, what were we at? Level 18, somewhere between 16 and 18, I guess we were at. And so we all had done the opening, we opened up epic battles. And so we went in, a fellowship of us went in at level 18, like average or 17 average to do Helmstead. And we were down below, we got the thing where we're trying to keep the main gate from getting blown up by these guys with the boxes. And unfortunately, the orcs killed all the NPCs. So once they killed all the NPCs, they started going after us. And we were dying like multiple deaths. We just kept cycling, because we ended up rezzing right next to the rope, and then down, and then up, and then down. And at one point, Finn, who was on Linlin, a captain, and I drew aggro from these guys, and so I was being followed by about, I don't even know, Terry, how many? 15 or more, 20 something?
Yeah, it was
of
a
these
lot.
guys with their boxes, and somebody said, take them up to the NPCs on top. So Linlin is keeping me alive. He's giving me cappy buffs, and I'm running. I'm a little hobbit warden running up, and I've got this line of sappers behind me. And I run them up to the top of the dike and ran them into the Rohirrim soldiers, and they killed them all off. And we have that on tape, right, Tara?
Yes.
And we
There's
actually
a link in the
managed
show notes to the highlights.
to get silver because of this conga line.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
It was
the other weird
impressive.
part, yeah. And we got we got silver, and we also got the horse one, but we didn't do anything with the horse one. In terms of but I think we got silver on that too. It was hilarious because
Oh my gosh.
we didn't even expect to survive, and we ended
We
up getting,
had somebody
silver
running
out.
around the mobs for that too, though.
Oh,
It
that
was
is great.
hilarious.
Sorry, I'm watching it right now. That is hilarious.
Isn't that great?
She's got like 10 orcs behind her. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that hilarious? We should put it to music. We should put it to like da 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 da. It's really funny. Yeah, and Mortumbra, he didn't go with us, but he watched it on Twitch, and he kept saying, "This is golden. This is just golden."
It really is.
He was like, the only thing I'd like is if we could do like 6 separate cameras, the 6 people, so we could see from each other's, because we were all over the place, It was a riot. It was a riot. It was great. But Lead Cake, actually, I got to hand it to Lead Cake. I think he was really the guy who was at the basis for, because he was taking it really seriously. You could tell he's definitely an epic battles kind of guy. He was taking it really seriously, and bless his heart, I'm glad he did, because he actually ended up getting us some nice points, and and stars of merit as a result. So that was pretty cool. And then my hunter. Now, if y'all have followed me at all, you either have been with me during or have heard me talk about times that I have been just literally sweating with stress being a hunter in Middle Earth. Trying to solo and just, the old glass cannon thing, just like, oh my gosh, I can't survive things. So it should impress you. I know Pineleaf's going to give a caveat here. Let him do it. But Glordriel, my level cap hunter soloed the featured instant both times this week.
Yay!
I was very proud of myself.
Your hunter did it?
My hunter did. Oh, so
okay. When you were saying it before, I had assumed it was a more resilient class.
No.
You get full points back, Maven.
I get points back. Because every time I said it, Pine Life's like, oh, well.
Yeah, there's no way in the world I would be able to get a hunter to solo the sword halls. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did it as a hunter. And I backed around that room. I made backward revolutions of that room. I don't even know how many times, with the mob in front of me, just shooting it full of arrows, but it was awesome. It was really given where I came from, and I was such a chicken hunter, and anybody that quested with me went anywhere from level 5 to maybe, well, Terry probably knows, to level maybe 100.
Get it away from me!
104, yeah. I followed Terry around Moria, letting her kill everything as a mini, while I just kind of like skulked behind her because I was such a chicken. So anyway, I consider that a real accomplishment. And then, as we've already talked about, I made a high elf on Bull Roar, and I gotta say, I may or may not have been running around Mordor while we've been talking. I don't know if they're going to be doing this with all. They're changing the avatar classes, but I don't know if they're going to do this for all the hunters. But I got to tell you, this high elf, when she shoots her bow, at least I don't think it's all the ones, but some of her skills, she goes into pirouette position.
Oh my god!
She pulls her bow back and she lifts up one of her legs like into a pirouette, kind of, like bent at the knee,
so
to shoot the bow.
She somersaults down hills and pirouettes with the bow.
Down hills and pirouettes with the bow. And she also remember how Legolas, I think he did this in the movie where he would. Oh, well, Bard definitely did it. Where he did his bow horizontal. She also does that for some of her skills. So it's very theatrical. Now, I'm going to be interested to hear other classes do as high elves. I'm wondering if maybe there are some of these, every class may do something really oddly strange. The somersault thing, I think all the high elves do. So we discovered that when you kind of like jump off not a cliff that's going to kill you, but like, a hill that you can jump down, at the end you do a little somersault.
Right. But I discovered it doesn't work if there's a lip over it and you don't hit the bottom. Like, you don't kind of skid down the bottom.
And I've seen a couple other people do it too, so it's really anyway. So it's
pretty awesome.
It's pretty hilarious. So anyway, so that was my highlight. How about you, Terry?
Well, other champion. Speaking of the summer festival pajamas, other champion has gotten those pajamas, and so he's now dressed for nap time. He's the designated alt to discover gambling addiction this summer. So yeah, other champion is doing summer festivaling, and he's dressed in PJs, and he looks so not intimidating at all. It's pretty funny because he's also like the scrawniest male elf build I could find for my other champion. And he wields a two-handed weapon that's almost as big as he is, especially because in the pajama outfit he's wearing a pitchfork. So yeah, it's definitely like as long as he is tall. So that was pretty entertaining. And I streamed the madness that was the LOTRO Academy field trip's successful, weirdly, attempt at Helm's Dyke. Still not entirely sure how that happened, and I have it on video, so there you go.
We have it. We have the evidence. Yes.
We have it on video, and I still don't know how it happened. So you can find it on my Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Terry Adwin. And I didn't talk about this before when we were talking about high elves, but I did roll one. I rolled a high elf champion. His name is Well Dressed Killing Machine. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Well, his name is Well Dressed. When he gets to level 15, it'll be Killing Machine. But, by the time I was in Bull Roar, I looked at his outfit and I was like, I can't go around looking like that. So I went up to the vault to do cosmetics and accidentally and actually ended up spending 20 minutes cleaning out my shared storage because I copied my shared stuff from all of the other servers onto Bull Roar, which meant that my shared storage had 434 out of 90 slots full. So it needed some work.
Yeah.
So I spent 20 minutes doing that, and by the time I was done, I couldn't get into the Isengard, so I couldn't level him up to 15, so he couldn't get the last name Killing Machine. So stay tuned for how well that goes. And last minute extra highlight, I'm doing 4 this week because I got Skirmisher of Middle-earth.
Yay! You finally got that.
I finally got the last
awesome.
2 encounters.
Congratulations!
I've been running Battle of 21st Hall while we've been doing the show, and I finally got the last 2 encounters I needed.
Oh my
Terry Edmund is
gosh.
Skirmisher of Middle-earth.
Yay!
She's got me wearing her
Yay!
title. She's got the Bring It On emote.
That's great.
And-
Congratulations.
Yeah, that pretty much
Yeah.
caps off my week. So, Pineleaf, how was your week? Speaking of Skirmisher of Middle-earth.
Yes. We'll start with Bull Roar, where I said before I created a high elf captain. I quested up to level 25 into the Lonelands. And my main reason for doing that is I decided to see how you unlocked the various racial traits. And eventually finding out, I think I mentioned this earlier, that one of them, of the 3 that I have unlocked, 2 of them were just by leveling, one for 19, one for 25, and another one was for killing orcs, for Enmity of the Orcs. I would presume that there's going to be another tier of Enmity of the Orcs at some point, and I don't know whether it's going to be mostly by leveling unlocks or or if there's going to be another opponent you're going to face, because usually the last one that you get unlocks at 29, so it's possible something could unlock there. I don't know. But that's just warning in there that you are going to have a mixture of ones that are going to be by level and probably I'd say 3 of them maybe that are going to be done by killing mobs. I'm not sure of it yet. I guess we'll find out when Mordor releases. But one of them, of the racial traits, is a Portella Florian, and I have a feeling that's going. Somehow, I think that you're going to get that when you get to 60 or 61 or something like that, because I can't see them giving it to you when you're level 30 or something like that. Next on my quest to catch up on Corey's lecture series on The Lord of the Rings, I managed to reach the end of Chapter 2, which anyone who knows that series is in the middle of Episode 9 of that series, which is, I think, about almost halfway to the series as he's gotten so far. At least in episodes count. He just did 21, I think. Maven might know that. Okay, I guess not.
I don't remember. No, I don't remember which.
Yeah.
I mean, I've kind of lost count.
Yeah. But, right. So I think he's around 21 or something like that. So therefore,
Yeah.
I'm hoping to be able to catch up. This is a long weekend for me. I'm hoping that maybe I'll get time in order to listen to the bulk of the series. And finally, on Laurelin, where I was doing the trifles, the one where you're supposed to kill 8 mobs in several locations, the last of which was Tarling's Crown. And of course, the mobs are level 100 in Tarling's Crown. And now this is on Laurelin, where my virtues are not quite as good as the virtues that I've got on Crick Hollow. So I was going, okay, now I have to get into Tarlan's Crown, which, are you familiar with Tarlan's Crown?
Mm-hmm.
Right. 7 mobs right at the front door.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So how do I get in? Now, I did manage to fight those 7 off on Crick Hollow.
Are you
But
talking about the scavenger hunt?
Yeah, talk about the scavenger hunt.
I have a tip for you.
What?
Go ahead and finish. I'll tell you after.
Okay. Well, what I did on this character is I went in there, tried to see if I could pull 1 or 2. Of course, I got all 7 anyway. Then I fought those 7. About halfway through, I said, nope, I'm not going to make it. So I ran inside, did a flop since Hobbit. And after doing that flop, I was inside, and then I went against the Oathbreakers that were inside and used that as my 8. So once you get inside, you're able to pick and choose only 1 or 2. But yeah, in my case, I decided to use a flop in order to be able to get inside, because that's a tough fight.
Well, you probably did it the right way, the correct way. When I did it, I approached Tarling's Crown from Morlad. Yeah. So I came out on that side, and I was pretty sure it was Morlad. And the thing is that first of all, on the approach to before you even get to the gate, there's at least 2 mobs just kind of roaming around that count. I think there's like a guy, there's like a humanoid, and there's also a hound that actually respawns really fast. So I mean, if you really had the patience, you could just literally stand where this hound respawns, kill that. But what I did was I used that, and there were also at that side there are fell spirits in the water, and they count. So you don't have to go into Tarling's Crown. Now the fell spirits are still tough. You know, you gotta go in and pick them off 1 by 1 and not aggro more than 1, because they're still really, tough mobs. But I just kind of picked around the edges and got mine, so I didn't go into Tarling's Crown. So you did it the right way. You did it the hero way, Pine Leaf. I did it the coward.
Doing a flop, I don't think is the hero way.
Well, still, you had the guts to go in and take it on.
Yeah, actually, the last of the Oathbreakers I took, I thought was 1 Oathbreaker. It turned out to be 3.
Oops.
So that turned out.
Oops.
Yeah, that turned out to be a little, and I had to do a little bit of kiting in that one, and I think I drank about 3 or 4 potions in order to keep from getting knocked out. Though I think that if I did get knocked out, I could have arranged it so that I could have been defeated in a location that was far enough from everyone that I could have done a revive instead of a retreat. So maybe that I could then, but I decided if I could just survive in there, and yeah, it took a few potions, but then I had all those potions that I've been pack ratting for a long time, so probably a good time to use them anyway, because all those Hobbit presents have been accumulating. Now let's head into news beyond LOTRO. It's been a while since we had one of these. And Hunt for the Ring is coming this summer from Aris Games. And this is a board game based, of course, on the Lord of the Rings, where you have 1 player playing the Fellowship, the ones who have the ring, and everyone else are playing the Nazgul, trying to sniff it out. So it is
interesting.
It sounds really fun.
So it's a hidden movement game.
That's kind of cool.
For 2 to 5 players. And that's a
heck of a way to play hide and seek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there are a number of games that use this type of thing, like Spectrops, Mr. Jack, and stuff like that. So but I think this is the first time I heard this applied to Lord of the Rings, and it's the unusual thing of the majority of the players. It's usually when you have an asymmetrical game based on Lord of the Rings, most of the players are on the Fellowship side rather than on the Nazgul side.
Mm.
So, and it looks like that they'll be having a demonstration of this at Gen Con 2017, which is going to be in the middle of August. And that there are going to be pre-orders probably on this. Amazon has a pre-order up, and they give an approximate date of October 31st. So, yes, A Hunt for the Ring by Nazgul. That sounds like something appropriate for Halloween.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
We currently have 22 supporters on Patreon. If you'd like to join this illustrious array of players and help support the LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for LOTRO Players News. We did not receive any emails this week, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast at LOTROplayers.com. You can also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, LOTRO Players at LOTRO Players, Ariendis at Ariendis, Maven at Tolkien Maven, Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles, Senswinda at Senswinda, and Terry Adwin at Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News. On the first and third Fridays, 11 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Actually, I think they are planning on moving that to midnight, so we better update that on the list. On the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, you have LOTRO Academy After School, and every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, you have LOTRO Players News. You choose our live shows at LOTROplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight, and this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.